Creation of Iya Elepo App, Part 5. Last lesson, we saw how to do the following. 1. We saw how to extend ASP.NET users table without using migrations. We created a new user from the add customer screen. We had coded the password while creating a new user from the add customer screen. If you remember, the password we supplied while creating a new user was password_1.
Yes, sir.
So today we shall begin by rectifying that anomaly.
Okay, sir.
Normally, you are not supposed to add code anything when you are writing your programs. Okay? So let's start from that. Okay, let's begin by opening Visual Studio 2022. So we right click on the shortcut for it. We select Run as Administrator in the context menu. So in User Account Control, we click Yes. So let's open the Iya Elepo App in Visual Studio. Double click on it. So I'm not going to load the metadata project, okay? So I click Continue. So this was actually the last file that we opened in the last lesson. And this was the custom code file we wrote, custom method we wrote to add a new customer. So on line 16, we actually create a new customer. Are you following?
Yes.
Then on line 18, we check if a customer object is returned from the database. So if the ID of the return customer object is greater than 0 on line 20, then we now go to line 23 and create a new application user. Okay? And so this new application user that we create on line 23, we did not add code the email. Sorry, we did not add code the username. We did not add code the email. But here you can see we add coded password and confirmed password. So we are going to start by rectifying this, okay? And in order to do this, we need to open Radzin as well. Are you following? So let's open Radzin. So I'll right click on Radzin. And in the context menu, I will select Run as Administrator. In User Account Control, I will click Yes. So we'll double click Iya Elepo App to open it. We'll close this dialog. Are you following?
Yes.
So now, let's look for the add customer page. In find page, so look, I just typed CUST and it brought all the matches. So let's double click on add customer. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
So now, on this page, we are going to add two controls.
Okay.
One for password, another one for confirm password.
Okay.
So, all I need to do is, let me select this label. Then I'll go to outline. I'll select the row in which that label is.
Okay.
Then I'll right click, and then from the context menu, I will select duplicate. Do you get that?
Yes, sir.
I will change the text property of this new label to password. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Then the drop down that is here, I will delete it. Okay? Then I'll go to toolbox. I will actually search for password. I'll drag and drop it here. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
I'll change the name to password. I don't want autocomplete for it. Then I'll go to style. I'll make the width of that control 100%. Now I need to bind this to a property, the value. And right now on the page there is no property, that appropriate property for me to bind this to. Are you following?
Okay, sir.
So what I'm now going to do is I'll go to outline. I'll select the page property. I'll go to events. I'll click go to the handler. I'll click the plus sign to add a new one. And then the action type will be set property. And the property that I'm going to set will be, let me just call it user password. User what? And then I will set it to an initial value of empty string. Are you following? So I set it to an initial value of empty string. Let me quickly set another property again. Set property. I will call this one confirm user password. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
I will also set the initial value to empty string. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Good. Now I click done. I'll go to the password control. I'll bind the value to user password property that I just created now. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Then there is one more thing I need to do here. And the stuff I need to do is, I need to go back to toolbox and look for validator.
Okay.
And what I need there is, I need a required validator. Okay? So I drag a required validator. I drop it after the password control. Okay? Now I configure the required validator. Now the control that will be associated with this password. And the text message, the validation message is password is required. Okay? Exclamation mark. Now for the label, the associated component will be what? Will be password. Now you know the next stuff I'm going to do is to right click again on this current row and say duplicate. So I will change this one now to confirm password. will change this one to confirm. Let me change it to confirm PWD, the name. And the value will be confirm user password. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Now, for this control, the associated component will be confirm PWD. And then the validation message will be confirm password is required. Then for the label, we will change the associated component to what?
Yes, sir.
Confirm PWD. We still need an additional control here.
Okay.
And the additional control we need is compare validator. The compare validator will compare the values between the two passwords, okay? So compare validator, drop. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Operator, yes, equal. The value that they are going to compare is user password. You should associate it with confirm password. The validation message should be the passwords you entered do not match. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Good. Now, having configured all this, we can now go back to our C# code file from the earlier lesson. And this time around, password is equal to user password. Confirm password will be equal to confirm user password. Are you following? So no more hard coding here now. It is now time for us to run the whole contraption, okay? So let's run it and see what we got. The breakpoint that we had from the other lesson is still there. We will still make use of this today. So let's run the project in Visual Studio 2022. So let's log in using admin. Okay. So let's add a new customer. Let's call this customer Dan John. Let this customer type be individual. Address, email, djohn@hotmail.com. Phone number, contact person, Mr. Tunde George, gender, male. Now, when you click save here, you can see that the validation controls fire. Now, let me put the password to be Benjamin_9. Can you see that? Now, let me put the password here to be Benjamin_10. You can see it says the passwords I entered do not match. Now let me change it back to Benjamin underscore 9. Now they match.
Okay.
Can you see that? Now let's click save. So on clicking save, the breakpoint is it. Are you following?
Okay.
So let's press F10.
F10. Okay.
Function F10. So you can see the new user object that we created. Okay, let's just continue. Let's continue to press F10. You can see the password here is Benjamin underscore 9.
Okay.
The user password. Confirm user password to is also Benjamin underscore 9. Can you see that?
Yes, sir.
So function F10, F10, F10. Every other thing is still the way it was last lesson. The only thing we changed was the password root stuff. So if you actually go to users now, let's click on users link. We actually see djohn@hotmail.com.
Okay.
You can't see the password here. So let's log out.
Okay.
So let's log in as djohn at hotmail.com. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Let's put a password of password underscore 1. That is a wrong password. Are you following?
Okay.
Can you see that? Click login. Says error, invalid user or.
Password.
So djohn@hotmail.com. Let's give him the correct password, which is Benjamin underscore what? Benjamin underscore 9. Login. Successful login. So on that note, we end today's lesson. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Let's log out before we end the lesson. Log out. Close the browser window. We close Visual Studio as well. We close Radisson as well. Thanks for watching.